So I'm a summer baby. I don't know if this is a normal thing for summer babies, but I have a very particular way of celebrating my birthday. And I think this is because I'm still bitter about all those Carvel cakes that the PTA would bring, and they would melt, and we would all have to share them. Every kid that was born in July and August. And I'm not good at sharing, and I didn't want to. So over the years, I've perfected my birthday plans. I go a little like this. I go down the shore, I fall into a pizza food coma, and then I get white girl wasted at the nearest dive bar. It is what I like to call the Jersey girl trifecta. Some years I can't do this though. It's almost always my fault because I love road trips. I've been cross country 5.5 times, and almost all of them are during the summer. The main reason for that is because I have participated in a lot of teen tours. If you don't know what that is, it just means you're not Jewish and from the East Coast. It's fine. I will tell you, it is a sleepaway camp on wheels. So picture like a busload of Jewish kids who have full access to daddy's credit card, no life experience, and only know how to communicate through Snapchat, all together. So the first summer I did that, I was 15. I was in Toronto, where we went to a science museum, and then to Canada's Wonderland. Now, Canada's Six Flags is great for most humans. I hate roller coasters, so I was just holding backpacks. And then the first year I was a counselor, I turned 22 on a rodeo in South Dakota. And then I turned 30. We had McDonald's in Bumblefuck, Montana, drove 6 more hours to Bumblefuck, Montana. I taught 50 kids how to do laundry for the first time, had a very fancy gourmet dinner at Fuddruckers, and then my now ex, did not call to wish me a happy birthday. So, after that, I decided, maybe don't be on the road again for my birthday. But then last summer, my dad got really sick, and where most humans are like, I'm gonna get on a plane now, I drove back to New Jersey. You can't tell me that the reason 1,000 tons of metal hang in the air is science. I'm just not okay with it. I think it's voodoo magic, and I'd rather actually go through the flyover states. And I stayed as long as I could. And luckily, my dad got better pretty quickly, but I had to be back in LA by July 12th. My birthday is July 7th. I don't know if you've ever gone coast to coast alone. It takes a very long time. There was no chance I wasn't gonna be on the road. But I figured, at least this year, I could plan the itinerary. So I started my birthday in Atlanta. This is only because it was the furthest south and west I could go and still stay somewhere for free, because my best friend from college lived there, and we both unironically love No Doubt, and his boyfriend makes candles, and they found the one neighborhood that kind of looks like Silver Lake if you close your eyes really tightly. And they brought me to get waffles so I could feel like Leslie Knope. Like, if you could marry a gay couple, I would be in Atlanta so fast. It was the perfect way to start my day. And so I had like a belly full of hipster buckwheat and cold brew coffee, and I was prepared for the best Plan B birthday I could come up with in the South, which was finding ghosts in Birmingham, a world-famous bookstore in Oxford, Mississippi. It's a thing. Look it up. And then I was going to drive past Graceland and eat barbecue in Memphis. I thought it was a perfect plan because I was also crossing time zones, so I had a fucking 25-hour birthday. Like, nothing could go wrong. Until I was on my way to Birmingham, I hit the only traffic of my whole trip, because I don't know if you guys know this, if Google Maps tells you a route is 1 minute shorter, don't listen. It never is. I got on a highway with no exits for 7 miles, and all of a sudden Google Maps was like, JK, 47 more minutes. It took a long time to get through Birmingham. And then I finally get to this place called Sloss Furnaces, which is like this haunted old set of iron where they used to make pig iron. And you can like travel the grounds and just like pray you don't, fall in and have to get a tetanus shot. But I thought it sounded cool as shit. I only lasted about 7 minutes because it was 103 degrees and humid and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My hair lasted 3 minutes. That entire time I was on the phone with that ex from the year before because I'm a masochist, and he was watching my cat. And my cat had been crying for days and days, and he decided this was the time to tell me he couldn't wait any longer. Not like one more day. So I drove away knowing I had a crying cat and a moron of an ex who ruins lives. And I get to Oxford, and the bookstore's closed. So I just get on my way to Memphis, actually forgetting Graceland existed, because at this point I've gone 450 miles. I'm tired. My makeup has melted off my face. I'm not sure I'm even in the South anymore. And I get off at Beale Street, and I'm super excited because one of my favorite songs of all time is Mark Cohen's Walking in Memphis, and all I wanted to do was also stand 10 feet off of Beale. That's it. What nobody tells you about Beale Street, if you've never been, it is just a knockoff of Bourbon Street, except without all the classy, like, frat boys and boob beats. It's awful, and it's tiny, and as I'm, like, walking up the street exhausted, finding the one restaurant that's still open, all of a sudden all these people started, like, walking a little too close into my personal zone, and I don't feel unsafe very often, but I felt very, very unsafe in this city. And as I keep going and going, they're still behind me, and they're not so much catcalling as just yelling in my general direction. Because I think I'm the only person they had seen in hours. And I felt like I was in a bad, like, Josh Whedon show, because as soon as I got through the doors of the restaurant, it was like all the misogynistic vampires just backed out like I was Buffy, and I hadn't invited them in. So I felt very safe in this place, because they had barbecue ribs, which immediately made me sick. So, like, nothing had gone successfully, but as I'm, like, you know, on the bathroom floor dying, I realized that I'm across the river from Arkansas. Hear me out. I was about to give myself what I thought was the best birthday present ever, because my goal in life is to get to all 50 states. At that point, I was at 48. This was the last contiguous US state I had to get to. So as soon as I could get off the floor, I make my way to my car, and as I'm crossing the bridge, I feel that I've gone over a metal grate, like the kind that covers potholes. And it sort of registers, but, like, not enough, because I'm just suddenly the first person to ever be excited they've gotten into Arkansas. And then my low tire pressure light comes on, which normally I take as just a suggestion from the car manufacturer. But I figured, like, it's almost midnight, I should probably stop. And I find a truck stop. It's very well lit, and they tell me they don't have air pumps. The gas station across the street does, the one with the broken-in windows and the flickering lights and the 6 cars parked out front that have no people and no working gas. And they also have air tanks that look like they've been mauled by tigers. And I have no idea how many quarters it needs, and I don't know what the directions are, so I just guess. And as I'm basically letting air out of my tire, there's huge bugs just crawling over my feet and mosquitoes attacking me, because remember, this is the South. I'm wearing as little as humanly possible. And I decide my tire is full enough, and I get back on the highway. Maybe 8 miles in, I hear a pop, and my car skids a little bit, and I can see in the rearview mirror that there's just rubber, like, rolling behind me, and I realize I'm driving on the rim. But it's so late, and I'm by myself, and I'm not stopping in Arkansas on the side of a highway. So I drive about 10 miles per hour, and I get off at the next stop, and there's a nice man behind the church's chicken. And I was like, listen, I'm so sorry, I sound ignorant, but do you have AAA? I don't. Is there anyone that can help me? And he was like, you don't have to wait for AAA, I'll change your tire. I was like, God bless Southern hospitality, because this man waited for me to take all of my suitcases out of the car, and a printer, and a bottle of wine I had bought at a gas station in Alabama that had exploded, because that's how hot it was. And as he's changing the tire, like getting the donut and changing the tire, there's more mosquitoes biting him and biting me, and now they're inside my car because they like the wine that is now broken in the trunk. But, like, bless his heart, because he fixed it and enabled me to go another 20 miles to the next town that actually had a working tire place, and it had a bunch of motels. And I found the nearest one, because at that point, just bed. It could have had mosquitoes in it for all I cared. I just wanted a bed. And I get up to the front desk, there's a giant sign that says, close all your doors and windows, the mosquitoes are rampant this time of year. And there were like 18 exclamation points. And I was like, why was that not the sign welcoming me into Arkansas? Like, tell me that if my car dies, I am probably gonna get murdered by bloodborne pathogens. That's really an important fact to know. So as I grab my key card and I continue to get attacked by mosquitoes, as I run to my hotel room, I realize that, like, if only I had just not been so precious about those Carvel ice cream cakes when I was a kid, maybe I would not have needed to ever go to Arkansas. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Emily Krauser, ladies and gentlemen.